In this video, I am going to demonstrate how to do neural manipulation for nerve around pubis. This yellow wire represents two nerves. One is ilioinguinal nerve, and one another nerve is iliohypogastric nerve. These two nerves run very closely, so let's pretend this wire represents two nerves, okay, just two nerves. These two nerves run along contour of ilium, and it kind of shows up around pubis, lateral to pubic tubercle. So area here is very sensitive, lateral to pubic tubercle. I am very careful when I do myofascial release around pelvis because of these two nerves. And one another nerve runs close to this area like this. This nerve is genitofemoral nerve. Genitofemoral nerve. These three nerves are very important about skin sensation around the genital area and lower part of abdominal muscles. That's why these three nerves are very important. Ilioinguinal nerve, iliohypogastric nerve, and genitofemoral nerve. When I work around this area, I do myofascial release first because this area is very important to release. There are many various techniques about myofascial release here. If I show you one technique I use two thumbs and I find tight place around pubic tubercle, lateral to pubic tubercle. I find tension, I put tiny bit stretch, just tiny bit, because this is very sensitive area. When I find the most resistant place, I put a little bit stretch and a little bit off. There, myofascia starts to react. This is, of course, exaggeration. It's very tiny movement. I follow movement of fascia until it stops. I repeat again. Put stretch, various direction. If I find tightest place, I put stretch, just tiny bit, little bit off. Myofascia starts to move. I follow movement of fascia. This is exaggeration. Okay, this is actually very tiny movement. Now let's say myofascial release is done. Fascia around pubic tubercle is now released. I use either middle finger or index finger. I put, let's say, middle finger on nerves. Then I put traction this way, distal way of nerve. Just tiny bit. If I exaggerate, traction, little bit traction, even tiny bit traction, little bit off. Then nervous tissue starts to move. I follow movement of nerve. Same as myofascia. This movement is very tiny. If I exaggerate, it can be like this. It can be along the nervous tissue, like, longitudinal way, or maybe transverse way, like this. Or it can be figure 8, like spiral of movement. Movement depends on situation, or it depends on nervous tissue. It can be longitudinal, it can be transverse, it can be spiral. However nervous tissue moves, you follow movement. Again, this is very tiny movement. Then when movement stops, that means the end of treatment. I repeat again. Open myofascia first, down. Next, put little bit of traction to distal way, little bit off. Nervous tissue starts to move. You follow movement until it stops. Now it's done. When these nerves are aggravated, people usually complain the pain around this area. If I palpate with tiny pressure, people might feel pain around this area, around genital area, pubic area. This is kind of a common symptom, okay? Then this is not very sensitive technique because I do not touch on midline. This is very sensitive area, right? But I work on lateral to midline. So this should be comfortable for both male and female. Just be aware you don't go to midline. This is very sensitive area. So if you liked today's video, please hit the like button, comment and subscribe. See you next video.